Bonjour and bienvenue. This is Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast, the show that's your ticket to all things French cuisine. From the buttery croissants of Paris to the finest cheeses and wines of Burgundy, we explore the food culture that has shaped modern gastronomy and continues to inspire taste buds worldwide. French cooking isn't just about recipes, it's about passion, history, and the art of savoring life one bite at a time. On this podcast, we dive into the stories behind iconic dishes, discover hidden culinary gems, and meet the incredible people, chefs, artisans, and home cooks who bring these flavors to life. I'm your host, Andrew Pryor. Enchanté.
Enchanté.
Once a contestant on MasterChef Australia, I now call France home. And here I spend my days cooking, tasting, exploring, and celebrating the extraordinary food, wine, and traditions of this beautiful country. And I look forward to sharing it all with you every week, my fabulously delicious audience. Today, we're sticking our spoons into something golden, floral, and fabulously sticky actually, honey. From the buzzing lavender fields of Provence to the rooftops of Paris, where urban beehives hum with life, honey has been sweetening French palates for centuries. We'll uncover its place in French culinary history, its role in regional dishes and patisseries, share how some of France's most revered chefs have sung its praises. So whether you drizzle it, bake it, or stir it into your zizane, get ready to fall in love with le miel, France's liquid gold. Grab a glass of wine, if you're not driving of course, tear off a chunk of baguette, smear a bit of creamy camembert on top, maybe some delicious saucisson, and get ready to indulge in another mouth-watering journey. Welcome to Fabulously Delicious. Honey is pronounced in French miel. Let's start with the basics because, well, why not? Honey in French is pronounced miel, as I just said, and spelled M-I-E-L. Easy enough, right? But this little word has ancient roots that buzz through language families like a bee through blossoms. It comes from the Latin miel. You might already know honey is produced by honey bees, those industrious little creatures living in complex colonies. But have you stopped to marvel at the incredible teamwork and precision behind every drop of honey? It all begins with the forager bees, the adventurous scouts of the hive. These intrepid explorers fly out to search for nectar, visiting flowers whose shapes perfectly suit the length of their tongues, so they sip the sweet nectar inside. But bees don't just rely on nectar for flowers. Some also gather honeydew, a sugary secretion from the tiny sap-sucking insects like aphids. This honeydew is essential in making some special honeys, such as dark, rich fir honey. On their flight home, bees store the nectar in a special stomach called the social jabot. Enzymes like invertase start breaking down the complex sugar sucrose into simpler sugars, glucose and fructose, but eventually give honey its signature sweetness and texture. Once back at the hive, the nectar is passed mouth to mouth from bee to bee in a fascinating process called trophallaxy. With each transfer, enzymes and saliva mix into the nectar, gradually transforming it. The bees then deposit the nectar into honeycomb cells. But it's not quite honey yet. To turn nectar into the thick, luscious substance that we know, ventilator bees fan their wings to evaporate excess water. The goal? Reduce the water content below 18%, which preserves the honey and keeps it from fermenting. Once the honey reaches the perfect consistency, the bees seal the cells with beeswax caps, creating nature's perfect storage jars. Producing just 1 pound of honey is an astonishing feat. It takes over 17,000 trips, visiting nearly 8.7 million flowers and about 7,200 collected hours of bee labor. Next time you drizzle honey on your toast, think about that incredible journey. Humans have long admired and utilized honey. Archaeologists discovered 40,000-year-old beeswax remains in South African caves, and ancient rock paintings in South Africa's mountains depict early interactions between humans and bees. This tells us that the hunter-gatherers hunted the honey tens of thousands of years ago, likely following the sweet scent through forests and cliffs. In early civilizations like those on the Nile Delta and Sumer, honey was a prized sweetener. The Egyptians, for example, revered honey so much that jars were found in King Tutankhamun's tomb, though the contents had long since crystallized or evaporated. This sparked the famous myth of terroir's honey that never spoils, a legend that has enchanted many through the centuries. It turns out that some of those jars actually contained natron, a type of salt, but the story stuck. Across the Atlantic, the Mayan civilization had their own honey story. The Mayans worshipped the Melipone bees, stingless bees native to Central America, and their honey was sacred, used in rituals and believed to possess medicinal powers. One of the Mayan gods was considered the protector of these bees, underscoring honey's spiritual importance. In ancient Greece and Rome, honey was not just food, it was divine nectar. Romans distinguished between premium honey that was naturally dripping from hives, called miel or milleta, and lower quality honey extracted by crushing hives. The honey from Narbonne in southern France, known as rosemary or Narbonnaise honey, was especially prized and even used in medicinal recipes like the famous 18th century terroir. Honey's medicinal reputation has endured through the ages. The Greeks and the Romans used it to treat wounds and skin ailments, and in medieval Europe, honey was a vital antiseptic before modern antibiotics. During the World Wars I and II, soldiers' wounds were treated with honey to help prevent infection, harnessing its natural antibiotic properties. Honey's preservation powers made it invaluable before refrigeration. Fruits, vegetables, and meats were often preserved in honey or honey-based mixtures, sometimes combined with vinegar or mustard to create flavor, long-lasting condiments. Planning a trip to Paris, heading to Paris, or maybe you're one of the lucky ones already living in this incredible city. Whether you're planning your dream foodie adventure or just looking to savor the best Paris has to offer, I've got you covered. After years of living and indulging my way through the City of Lights, love and good food, I'm thrilled to share with you all my fabulous, delicious discoveries. If you love French food as much as I do, then I think that this book is made for you. Introducing the 2025 edition of Paris, a fabulous food guide to the world's most delicious city. This isn't just an update, it's a celebration of all things food in Paris. Packed with even more hand-picked recommendations, this new guide features expanded sections for restaurants, cafes, bars, fromageries, boulangeries, and patisseries. Plus, I've included new sections for vegan and vegetarian options, and also dining with a view, and a revamped and expanded food walking tour to help you explore the city bite by bite. With over 400 listings, including iconic food streets, gourmet supply stores, wine bars, and more, this guide is the ultimate comparison for anyone craving a true taste of Paris. Whether you're hunting down flaky croissants, creamy cheeses, or a perfectly poured cafe creme, you'll find it all inside. So, grab your copy today at andrewpryorfabulously.com, where you can even order a signed and gift packaged version. Perfect for food-loving friends and family. Or head to Amazon, where it's available in print and on Kindle for instant foodie inspiration. Bon appetit and happy exploring, mes amis. Honey wasn't just for eating or healing, it was a key ingredient in mead, one of the world's oldest alcoholic drinks. Mead is fermented honey mixed with water, sometimes with added fruits or spices. Archaeologists have found evidence of mead production dating back to the 5th millennium BCE in Spain, making it an ancient and cherished beverage across many cultures. Before sugarcane, sugar beet, and corn syrup became common, honey was one of the few natural sweeteners available in Europe. It sweetened bread, cakes, and drinks, becoming a staple in diets and religious rituals alike. The philosopher Aristotle described honey as celestial dew, highlighting its unique status between solid and liquid, a substance bridging earth and the divine. Honey preservation qualities made it seem like an immortal food, a gift from the gods. Honey also symbolized the sun and the light in many ancient cultures, including followers of Mithra, the Persian god. The Greek words miel, honey, and mleke, lyrical poetry, share a root, suggesting that honey was seen as fuel for creativity, the sweet muse of poets and artists. Humans first harvested honey by collecting wild hives from tree trunks or rock crevices, often risking stings and even their own lives. Over time, they began creating simple hives to encourage bees to settle in. In 19th century France, beekeepers used straw hives called skeps. Honey was extracted by pressing the entire hive, a far cry from today's modern extracting methods. Today, beekeeping has evolved with science and technology. In France, innovative programs like the Bee Partner Consortium use smart instrumental hives that monitor bee health and environmental conditions in real time. These high-tech hives ensure sustainable production and allow consumers to trace honey provenance from hive to jar. In 2021, the European Union imported 173,000 tonnes of natural honey from non-EU countries, valued at approximately €406 million. Whilst it exported 25,500 tonnes, worth about €147 million. Within the EU, Romania is the leading honey producer, followed by Spain, Hungary, Germany, Italy, Greece, and then France. Notably, nearly a third, 31% of the honey imported into the EU in 2021 came from the Ukraine, with China accounting for another 28%. Highlighting the significant role of these countries in the European honey market. Attention French foodies and lovers of all things ooh la la. If you're not following at Andrew Pryor Fabulously on Instagram yet, you're missing the ultimate insider look at French food, culture and life here in La Belle France. From cooking tips to charming French villages and so much more about French food history, it's your daily escape to the flavors and magic of this incredible country. Don't wait, follow now and let's keep the joie de vivre alive in your feed. France boasts several notable protected honeys, including Alsace honey, PGI since 2005, Corsican honey and AOP since 1998, with various floral varieties like maquis or chestnut, Vosges fir honey, PDO since 1996, honey from Celine, PGI since 2015, and miel de Provence, PGI since 2005, which also carries a red label for its lavender and wildflower varieties. Additionally, there's a rare honey from Guadeloupe, which underscores France's diverse and regionally prized honey heritage. France is famous for its incredible diversity of honey. Each variety reflects the region's unique flowers and landscapes. Miel de Provence is probably the most famous French honey, protected by both Label Rouge and IGP, with flavors ranging from fragrant lavender to wildflowers. It's a delicious snapshot of southern France's colourful flora. Beekeepers in Provence even practice transhumanists, migrating their hives seasonally to follow blooming flowers from the Mediterranean coast to the Alps. Miel d'Alsace offers a spectrum of honeys from chestnut to acacia to silver fir, reflecting the diverse ecosystems of this picturesque northeastern region. Each batch undergoes microscopic analysis to ensure purity and traceability. Miel de Paris, which is made from Parisian rooftop hives, which flourish without the use of insecticides, allowing city honey to shine with purity and flavour. Surprisingly, the hives in Paris produce more honey, between 30 to 60 kilograms per hive, compared to their countryside counterparts. This urban honey is a fascinating example of how bees thrive amidst the city's green spaces. Miel d'Acacia, or Rabina honey, known commonly as acacia honey, though actually harvested from the false acacia tree, this honey is treasured across France. It is pale and clear, with delicate vanilla notes and a gentle sweetness. Its slow crystallization makes it a favorite for cooking, baking, and sweetening tea. Miel de Thyme, or thyme honey, is produced mainly in the Languedoc region. Thyme honey is rich and robust with a deep reddish brown colour. It's especially popular for soothing winter colds when stirred into hot lemon tea, offering both flavour and comfort. Miel de Bourdain, which is a buckthorn honey. Comes from the lavande forest and is a dark brown honey with a unique pine fragrance. Its complexity makes it a prized choice among honey enthusiasts who appreciate depth and character. Miel de sapin, or fir honey, is a rare treat. Fir honey is made not from nectar but from honeydew. It's sugary secretion, as I mentioned before, that's found on trees and bugs. It's dark, strongly flavoured and less acidic, primarily harvested in the Vosges, Jura and Alsace regions. This honey is highly valued for its rich complexity. Miel de Sarrasin, which is a dark and full-bodied buckwheat honey, offers a roasted cereal flavour and is integral to the classic French spice bread pain d'épices. It's also one of the few honeys that pairs wonderfully with coffee, lending a bold sweet edge. Miel de Tournesol, which is sunflower honey, is bright yellow and pleasantly sweet. The sunflower honey reflects the vibrant summer fields of France. Due to the heavy pesticides used on sunflowers, organic options are recommended to ensure purity and flavour. You also have in France chestnut honey, which is known for its robust, slightly bitter taste. Rosemary honey, also called Miel de Rameau, which is rare, but it's a white honey and has a legacy dating back to Roman times. Dandelion honey, bright yellow and straightforward in flavour. It's a springtime honey that's harvested from many rural French areas. Clover honey, which is light and mild, commonly found in rural gardens and fields. Cornflower honey, which is fruity and delicate, and sometimes it's compared with blueberry. Bramble honey, which has a rich and fragrant honey from wild blackberry flowers, especially in the Morvan region. And there's orange blossom honey, which comes from Corsica. This honey carries the fresh citrus notes of the island's orange groves. Discover the real France with the Vienne Residency cooking experience. Escape the hustle of tourist hotspots and immerse yourself in the charm of rural France. Picture this, staying in a beautifully restored 2-bedroom townhouse in the heart of Montmorillon, a delightful town where history, culture and gastronomy come to life. What's included in your stay? Well, it's your home away from home. You relax in our cosy townhouse, complete with 2 bedrooms, a shared bathroom, a kitchenette and a charming lounge. Perfect for unwinding after a day of culinary adventures. There's a private French cooking class where you'll roll up your sleeves for 1 or 2 full days, depending on which Vienne residency you choose, for a regional cooking class in my home kitchen, where we'll prepare and enjoy traditional French dishes from both lunch and dinner. There's cultural exploration, where we stroll through Montmorillon's bustling market, browse its quaint galleries, and venture into nearby gems like Limoges, Saint-Savin, or even the Loire Valley, which is not too far with its chateaux, and many other picturesque towns. A warm welcome will start the journey with a delightful aperitif and dinner, setting the tone for an unforgettable stay. Whether you're traveling solo, as a couple, or with friends, these private residencies are designed for groups of up to 4, making them as intimate as they are indulgent. When can you join, I hear you ask? Well, residencies run from May till October, perfect for soaking up the beauty of France's sunlit countryside. Why choose a Vienne residency? Well, it's more than just a cooking class. It's a chance to experience the rhythm of French life, guided by a passionate host. That's me, who loves sharing the secrets of the region's culinary heritage. Ready to cook, taste and explore the real France? Well, visit andrewpryorfabulously.com for all the details. Your next great adventure awaits. I can't wait to welcome you to Montmorillon. To combat widespread adulteration, the European Union introduced new regulations in January 2024 requiring detailed labelling of the honey's country of origin. This aims to address the problem of massive imports. and adulterated honey, often diluted with sugar syrups. A unique identification code must allow full traceability from beekeeper to jar. Previous European Commission studies showed nearly half of all honey samples failed to comply with the EU rules, especially concerning added sugar syrups. In France, where preserving terroirs and authenticity of artisanal honey is vital, this fight against fraud is especially important to protect local honey and maintain consumer trust. French consumers often prize their regional honeys, such as lavender honey from Provence or chestnut honey from Sapin, making transparency and quality control a priority in the French honey market. Honey has a long-standing place in French cuisine, not just as a sweetener, but as a central flavour in a number of regional dishes, desserts, sauces, and even meats. Here are some French dishes where honey is a primary or defining ingredient. On the savoury side, we have dishes like the magre de canard or miel, duck breast with honey. This is a classic bistro dish. The duck breast is typically pan-seared and served with a sauce made of honey and often balsamic vinegar or wine, creating a sticky, sweet and tangy glaze. Pork or miel, honey glazed pork, is found in various regions of France. Pork roasts or ribs are glazed with a mixture of honey, mustard and herbs like thyme or rosemary. The honey helps caramelize the outside beautifully. Carottes, Vichy or miel, is a twist on a classic glazed carrot from Vichy, where honey replaces sugar to glaze the carrots with butter and herbs. And you have poulet or miel, or citron, honey and lemon chicken, found in the south of France and often influenced by Mediterranean flavours. This dish balances the floral sweetness of honey with the brightness of citrus. And then you have breads like pain d'épices, a French spice bread. This is probably the most iconic French dish centered around honey. Originating in Alsace and Dijon, it's made mostly from rye flour and a large quantity of honey. It's flavored with warm spices like cinnamon, cloves, and anise. It's sometimes topped with candied fruits or enjoyed with foie gras. Sweet dishes like nonettes, also from Dijon, are small honey cakes filled with orange marmalade or other preserved fruits. The dough is spiced, rich, and honey heavy, and a delightful seasonal treat. Tarte or miel in some Alpine and Corsican villages is a honey tart that is made by blending honey and eggs and cream or ricotta like cheese to create a custard-like filling. There's special regional dishes like the Corsican brochu and honey, which brochu is a local fresh cheese. It's often eaten with a drizzle of local chestnut or marquis honey as a dessert or breakfast dish. Another cheese dish is fromage avec miel. Not a dish per se, but honey is commonly served alongside cheeses like goat's cheese, chèvre, especially in Provence, where lavender honey pairs beautifully with tangy cheeses. Then there is also the vinaigrette or miel that is used in salad dressings all over France to balance acidity, often paired with Dijon mustard and wine vinegar. Miel et lavande glacée, lavender honey ice cream, is found in Provence. And this ice cream is a celebration of local lavender fields and honey production. So the next time you drizzle miel on your croissant or stir it into your tea, remember you're tasting millennia of history, science, culture, and nature all wrapped up in that golden drop. It's not just sweet, it's a story, a symbol, and a tiny miracle made by the world's hardest working little creatures. Shout outs to all those watching, not just listening on YouTube and Spotify. Some say I have a face for radio, but as you can see, if you're seeing this handsome face, it's also fit for computer screens and TVs. Thanks for everybody who's watching now on YouTube and Spotify, and for the rest of you that are listening around the world on all the other podcast platforms. La nature a mis le sucre dans le fruit, le miel dans le fleur, pour faire comprendre à l'homme que le plaisir peut être innocent. Translation: Nature placed sugar in fruit and honey in flowers to show man that pleasure can be innocent. Jean-Antoine brilliant savoir. Fabulously Delicious is part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Join us as we explore the delicious world of French cuisine and culture alongside a fantastic lineup of podcasts. Stay tuned for more fabulous content and delightful conversations. And that's a wrap for this episode of Fabulously Delicious. Have you heard of the word for honey in French before? You? What's the most fabulous thing that you discovered today? Whether it's a fun fact, a recipe idea, or a deeper appreciation for French cuisine, I'd love to know your thoughts. So slide into my DMs at Andrew Pryor Fabulously on Instagram, or you can send me an email at contact@andrewpryorfabulously.com. Let's connect, chat about honey, French food, or anything delicious. I'm always here for a good food conversation. It's one of the best ways to bring people together, don't you think? If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to share it around with your friends, family, or anybody who loves French food as much as we do. Your support means the world and helps to keep the Fabulously Delicious journey going. And hey, if you're feeling extra fabulous, why not leave a review? It helps more foodies discover the show, and I'd be so grateful. 5-star one would be fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me. Your love for French food and culture inspires every episode. Fabulously Delicious. And I'm so glad you have come along for the ride. Remember my motto, whatever you do it fabulously. Merci beaucoup. And as always, bon appétit. Until next time, au revoir.